Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic week. Well, in the news recently there is a couple who say they were kicked off a cruise ship for simply losing their passport. Simply? So to set the story up, we have the Crooks, who are an elderly couple in their 70s who decided to go on, what arguably a lot of people would consider a dream of a lifetime cruise. They were on Regent Seven Seas Explorer. And if any of you don't know Regent would be considered one of those upper class cruise ships. Basically the pinnacle of pinnacles. Luxury everywhere, top-notch staff, beautiful ships. Look at some of these pictures. They're just a very well-run, beautiful cruise line, and they only have a certain amount of ships. They have some of the most luxurious suites out there, and they're a top-notch cruise line. You rarely hear anything bad ever about Regent Seven Seas. So they were on the Explorer, and they were heading down from on a cruise, and they got off in Rome. And they made one of the cardinal sin rules, a couple of them actually, that you don't do when you're on holidays. It's number one, they brought their passport with them. In a port, they didn't have to bring their passport off the ship. They just needed ID to get back on the ship. In Rome, you don't need to carry your passport off the ship. In most cases, when you're American or Canadian citizen, but they had their passport with them. And lo and behold, they were stopping off in Rome, and they decided they needed to use the restroom. Their passport was in their bag, and they sat down on a bench and they put the bag under the bench, and then they took turns, according to them, going to the facilities. So the bag was never really left alone. Thing is, if you have your bag under your seat and you're just sitting there and you're looking around and you're looking at the marvels of Rome and it's just beautiful, you're in a strange place, you're just admiring yourself, you're relaxing, you're tired, you're not really paying a whole lot of attention to your bag. And how long does it take for somebody to walk up behind them on the bench, reach down, grab the bag, and just walk away with it? Seconds. Literally 2 seconds, and your bag is gone. And that's exactly what happened. Somebody snatched their bag. When they realized their bag was gone, they immediately reported it to the local police and then headed back to the ship, and they informed the cruise staff that they no longer had any passport. It was stolen in port. Unfortunately, here's where international law and international regulations between different countries and traveling comes into effect. If you no longer have a valid passport with you and you're going to different stops in different countries, you can't travel anymore. You got to stay where you are and resolve your passport issue. You can't go to another city and another city and another country and they're going to solve your passport for you. You have to get it solved where you are. So Regent Seven Seas said they would have to leave the ship. Regent Seven Seas Explorer staff arranged transport back to the city and arranged a hotel stay for them while they get this solved. But of course the fees don't go to the cruise ship. It's not their fault that you lost your passport. That fee goes to them. And because it took a few days for them to resolve the passport issues and get issued emergency documents, they ended up spending about $1,250 in extra costs and missing a good chunk of their cruise. Now here's where they come off and they say that they were treated like meat. And I don't think a lot of people understand. There's not a lot a cruise can do when you lose your identification. There's certain rules they have to follow no matter what. If you were really truly being treated like meat, the cruise ship would have just left you at the port and you can make your own way back to the city. You can find your own things, but no, they arranged transportation for you. They found a hotel for you. They did what they could. So to come off and say that they treated you like meat, I really think is just looking for something now. Are you looking for your money back? They did say that some of the money they got back from the insurance company, but not to cover the full $1,200. I don't know if they're looking to get that money covered or not, or if they really think they were truly mistreated. But to me, it doesn't sound like it. So this is what I tell people all the time. Never travel with your actual passport in the port unless you have to. Certain countries you have to. If you're going to Russia, if you're going to China, you have to carry your passport with you. However, most other ports, the Caribbean, Rome, Barcelona, you don't really necessarily have to at all times carry your passport with you. A lot of it depends. For instance, if you're landing in a port and then you're heading to a different destination during an excursion when you come back. For instance, Alaska. If you go to a certain port and you take a certain excursion in Alaska, you land in the United States, but the excursion goes up into the Yukon part of Canada, which means you're leaving the country, which means you need your passport to go in and out because you do cross borders. And they will ask you for your passport and show you your travel documents. So there are cases when you need it, but unless it specifically says bring your passport with you. If it just says bring identification with you, that means your driver's license, something with a picture ID, a government ID. Other than that, leave your passport locked in your safe. It's not going to go stolen in your safe when you lock it up. So, words of warning. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think they're treated like meat? I don't see anything in the story where they were mistreated. I can see frustration. I can see anger. You had your passport stolen. It's not great. It's not a good thing. But it's also not the cruise line's fault either. So that's just kind of my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.